Hey, everyone. Welcome to this week's session of The Good, the Bad, and the True. It's your girl, Naya Angel, coming through with my homies for life and co-host, Mr. PAT and E-Man. What's up, fellas?
What's up,
What's good? What's
everybody?
good? What's good out there, listeners? What's good? What's good?
Oh, man, we have some topics to discuss this week for our listeners out there. I'm rubbing these hands together because we got some juicy stuff to speak on.
Oh yeah.
Definitely exciting.
Oh yeah.
So, before we go ahead and jump in and get started, I'm going to throw it to my guy, Mr. E-Man, for a special announcement. Whenever you're ready, sir.
Oh boy.
Yeah, let's kick it in. So I'm gonna make all my. This is gonna be a thing for all the, all our segment and shows. So first things first, I want to just put it out there. Cobra Kai season 4. Everyone's waiting for it, so I can't wait till that comes out. So I just want to
I
share
thought
that.
you had a date. I was getting ready to say, when is the date?
Good grief! Damn. Supposedly the date should be here between, I think, January 2022 or December 2021. So
Okay.
so
Gotcha.
Also, I heard is the Venom movie already out? Supposedly, I think it's out. The new Venom movie.
Ooh, great question. I don't know if it's
I think it's out.
already
I had a
out
few
or
people
coming
talking
out. Let
about
me
it. I gotta
see.
make
It'll
sure I
be
go
coming out
watch that.
soon.
Did it come out?
I don't think so.
It's
Don't
not
quote
out
me on
yet.
that though.
Damn. See,
Let me
it,
see. I think
Oh,
it starts tomorrow, like October 5th.
yeah, it's soon, real soon.
soon.
Yeah.
Oh, so it could be this weekend. So hopefully everyone gets a chance to watch that movie because I'm if it comes out on Friday, I'm gluing my eyes on HBO Max, or if I want to go to the theaters, 9 times out of 10, I might just go watch it on HBO Max because
Now, is that one going to come on HBO Max? Because I wasn't sure if like all movies that come out nowadays are also offered on Max or some of them are only going to be in theaters.
I don't know.
Now I was gonna say, since that's a Marvel movie, it'll probably come on Disney if it were to be
Right.
streamed. But because I know with HBO Max, that's more like aligned with DC.
Right.
Like DC Warner Brothers, but
Mhm.
Venom most likely will probably start in the theaters and then eventually be available through Disney. But I'm just speaking off the top. I could be wrong. Or it could be on another streaming service. But that's just my guess.
I'll definitely find it because I'm definitely gonna watch it. So just letting everyone out there. Hopefully, if it's coming out this weekend, just be prepared to watch it. My third and I wouldn't say final PSA, but there's been a whole lot of crazy shit going down. Supposedly, Facebook was out for like 8 hours and whatnot, which I already knew that was going to happen. No, but Joe and the hoe just got to go. Like, I'm getting sick and tired of this for real. Like, I don't know what Joe's doing, and I don't know why they keep calling him the president. Like, I don't know what he's doing, but he needs to he just needs to go. Like, he just officially needs to go. And he needs to just take the hoe with him also, too. Political hoe, by the way. I got to make sure I'm saying political hoe because I can't call Kamala Harris a hoe because it seems like everyone gets under their feelings when I call her a hoe. So I'm going to call her a political hoe because it sounds better, but she's still a hoe. But Joe and the hoe just got to go and whatnot. Like, they just got to go because nothing is no longer making sense at all.
I agree.
Nothing at all is making sense. So Joe and the hoe definitely just got to go. Mm-hmm. And don't worry, Joe. I'm just not black enough because I didn't vote for you, by the way. So just letting you know that. So, let's see what else I got. Man. Also, last PSA. I was actually on a podcast and whatnot. So I'll let everyone know at the end of the show about, me being a special guest on another podcast, but it was amazing, by the way. But I'm ready to dive in so we can get started on these juicy topics. Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. And just for those folks out there, an important disclaimer here. Please note that on the good, the bad, and the truth, we are definitely going to speak on the hot and controversial topics. However, the individual opinions are just that. While some of us align on a lot of things, we all have our own mind, our own thoughts, and never is it any of our intention to offend or impose on anyone's lifestyle. We just do what we do here and speak on whatever is on our minds. So, with that said, let's jump right into the first question of the day, which I'm super excited to speak on this. And it is for those of you out there who have not heard the return of Rap City. Yes, you heard me correctly. Rap City, hosted by Big Tigger, is returning. It is going to be obviously a 2021 version, but it is due to come back out. So, with that being said,
I just wish he was back in his mama baby. I mean, I just wish he was back in his mama basement.
You wish he was back in the mama basement.
Yeah, I just Rap City the basement.
Yeah,
I know, right? It was Rap City the basement. I think Tigger done probably advanced out of the basement by now, but we'll see what he do.
See, that's what happens when when you started from the bottom. Now you there. You know,
started from the bottom. Now you here.
Yeah.
There you go. So, question of the day for that topic, fellas, is would Rap City be any good in today's era of hip hop? So to start us off with that question, I'm going to go ahead and throw it to Mr. PAT, our resident rapper and overall dope MC. What say you, sir?
Yeah. All right. This is a good question. All right. So I might be showing my age on this one, but I am skeptical about Rap City coming back in today's era of hip hop. I'm going to just be real. I'm skeptical about that. Now, I do understand that Rap City will just be a one night thing. Basically, it's something before the 2021 BET Hip Hop Awards, which is coming out in October 5th. But just off the top of my head, I can't see it being something to really jump up and down about. Maybe.
Wait, it's only one night?
Yeah.
Oh, and I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. When you read the article, and I will post that link in the description. But it's just going to be for one night. It's going to be right before the 2021 BET Hip Hop Awards.
You know what's so funny right now?
Coming out October 5th.
Hold on. Sorry to cut you off, Pete. You know what's so funny right now? Remember how earlier I said, he's not going to be in his mama basement? Now I feel like his mama basement probably just got re-renovated, or they sold the house so he can no longer be in the basement anymore. That's what just hit my mind.
True.
That's what just hit my mind.
So random, but I appreciate that.
No, because what Pat said, it was only happening for one day. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Did someone sell the house? So there's no more basement no more?
Oh, wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting aspect, but I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. PAT.
Yeah, I mean, one night, because I heard about Rap City coming back, and I was like, oh shit, they're really gonna bring this back, like for real. And then I read the article, and they said it's gonna be basically just right. It's just gonna be before the 2021 BET Hip Hop Awards. Basically, it's just gonna be like a celebration, something for nostalgia, pretty much. But yeah, that's it, at least for now. I don't know, maybe if it does well enough, they might try to, do more. Who knows? We're in an era of reboots, so they might try to reboot it and bring it back.
They need to stop with all these reboots, though, because some of them have not been great, and a lot of them has been not so bad, but it still
I
wasn't
agree.
great.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't really think they should bring Rap City back, but maybe I'll check it out. But otherwise, I'm not that interested, especially if it's going to be today's rappers all over it. Honestly,
Agreed.
I'll pass. Like, I'm just being real. I'll pass. Now, as for the question at hand, would Rap City be any good in today's era of hip hop? My answer to that would be no. Honestly, I just don't see it. I don't see Rap City in this day and age having the same magic that it had back in the 90s and the early 2000s. Rap, as we all know, was different a decade or so ago. There was a time when there was more of a focus on talent. Now, as time went on, things became less about talent and more about gimmicks. There was a time when you had to have bars. You had to have bars. You had to have lyrics. And today's rap just doesn't have it.
They want 0 bars. They just want 0 bars.
Right. It just doesn't have it. Today's era of rap, it's just not it. Now, you do have some exceptions. There are always exceptions to the rule. But overall, in this day and age, having bars is not as important as it used to be. Now, imagine bringing Rap City back and having a bunch of rappers who don't give a shit about bars going into the booth. They're either not going to go in the booth or they're going to pull out their cell phone and read their lyrics while they're in the booth. Now, someone who would be in defense of this generation of rap.
So much.
See, there you go laughing. And
it's like so much truth. That's why I'm just laughing. And
then you try to knock down my joke with the basement. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm just being real. Like I'm just being real. Now, someone who would be in defense of this generation of rap would tell me that rappers back in the day used to recite verses off of their albums. Okay, that person or persons wouldn't be lying because that is true. However, it was still good to hear a rapper spit quotable verses in the booth. Keyword quotable, which means they were dope verses. So even if it came off the album, it was dope. And it was good to hear at the time. At least we knew we were going to get some bars. Aside from that, we knew Big Tigger would start things off with an actual freestyle or an off the dome, as some would call it. Now, speaking of which, for those who don't know, a freestyle can actually be pre-written. Now, here's a little history lesson. Back when hip hop was on the come up, a freestyle could also be pre-written, or it could be a memorized rhyme, and it would be called a freestyle because it was free of style. So in other words, the rhyme didn't have to be about anything specific. You could rap about whatever and not stick to a specific subject matter. Now, whenever a rap was spontaneous and happening at the moment, that was considered an off the head or an off the dome. So with all of that being said, it's actually not incorrect to say that a rapper spit a freestyle in the booth. The fact is, back when Rap City was hot, we knew rappers weren't coming to spit no bullshit verse. We knew that whatever rhymes they were coming with would be sharp. There were a lot of special moments and standout performances back then. I just don't see that happening in this day and age. I just don't see it. I mean, I could be wrong. There's always that possibility. I could be wrong. I'm not saying my opinion's law, but let's just be real. Can we really see rappers these days getting in the booth and like really spitting some hot shit. I'm talking about most of them. I'm not talking about like a few here and there. I'm not talking about like a J. Cole, a Kendrick, or even like a Drake or somebody like. I'm talking about the mass majority. I don't see it. Straight up, I don't see it. I just don't see that happening in this day and age. I'm just saying it again. I just don't see it. Now, you know, it could be hot for this generation of rap fans, but hip hop heads like myself and everyone on this panel, we know that we're not going to get that same quality. Rap music nowadays is way too commercialized. It's way too watered down, and it's way too bubblegum. Rap nowadays is more of a product. It's a product. Right. Yeah, it's a product that is cookie cutter and uses a template. This template brings in whoever fits the template, uses them up, and then cycles them out for the next young somebody or little somebody. Basically, we're dealing with a conveyor belt. That's what this shit is these days. It's a conveyor belt. So I say no. Rhapsody in this day and age on a consistent basis would not be good. The only way I could see it being good is if they focused more on the veteran rappers who take their craft more seriously. And I'm going to just end it on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what's up. All right. Thank you for sharing. So I'm going to definitely go ahead and speak on this. And I will say that we are very similar in thought on this subject, which should not be surprising for most fans who listen to us or our supporters. As you mentioned, all of us on this panel definitely have a ear for hip hop, I could comfortably say. And so for me, the question of would Rhapsody be any good in today's era of hip hop? And just learning that it is only for one night is definitely very interesting. But from my perspective, it depends on the context of the show. Because if Big Tigger is going to ask them to get in the booth and freestyle, just like you mentioned, that's going to be dastardly, right?
Right,
that's going to end horribly.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Don't worry.
As you mentioned, no one, well, okay, I'm not going to say no one, right? Because, I mean, let's keep it a buck, right? A fair number of today's rappers, save, say, the Kendricks, J. Cole's, and Big Sean's of the world, are totally dependent upon dope beats and outlandish behavior to sell. That's all they do.
Yep.
They produce music. They got a dope beat with no context to the word. And then they use their outlandish behavior to connect with equally outlandish people. And that's how they sell. Okay, so
correct.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Eman.
No, I was just saying correct, but I'm going to wait my turn because I'm going to show you how it goes down in the new Rhapsody basement. So, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yes, sir. So let me elaborate a little bit on that last part, right? The part about the rappers of today basically being dependent on their dope beat and their outlandish behavior. So my prime example is DaBaby, right? In my opinion, he's not particularly lyrical, nor are any of his songs outstandingly memorable. Okay, this is just my opinion.
Are we talking about the one that's wearing the diaper, or
I'm talking about the one that wears the diapers, DaBaby. Right.
Baby.
This is just my opinion on that particular person. So, in my opinion, right, he's not particularly lyrical. His songs are not that memorable, right? I don't think he's made a classic. And so, therefore, it seems like his most valued talent is in his ability to be outrageous. You know, he is a histrionic. And for people who don't know what that is, look it up. Okay. He is utilizing his fame to create a fan base that will purchase his music and support him and etc. just on his outlandish behavior. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I feel like he's had some very creative material at times, right? But it's often overshadowed by all his theatrics. I'm saying, so like, hopefully it'll settle down someday and we'll get to see some of his creativity in a different way, especially after his
Are we sure
backlash.
about this?
Well, I didn't say it will. I said hopefully, right? And I'm saying hopefully some of his behavior, because if you look at the recent backlash, his behavior has settled down as a result of that. And so I'm saying maybe he'll take this time to continue to be more creative. And as Pat was mentioning earlier, to put some more respect towards his craft. That is what I would like to see. Now, back to the matter at hand, right? The other side of it is the cultural aspect of the return of Rap City. Because when we were younger, Rap City, at least for those where I'm from, which you both are, right? And a lot of folks, I can speak to how I grew up with Rap City, right? It was something to look forward to, right? Rap City, along with the early years of 106 and Park and all of that, was like, it was something to look forward to. It was a hype around it because you knew you were going to see like a grittier side of your favorite artist, right? So like, especially during the interviews where they would be asked like direct questions about a beef that they had with another artist, and there were like no cut cards held, right? And in today's rap world, beefs are mostly cooked up propaganda by record companies to sell an often fake persona of the rapper, in my opinion, if I'm just being 100.
Facts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, PAT.
No, I was just saying facts. Like you're speaking the truth. That's really what it is nowadays.
Right. So, okay. So let me clarify too. So now that's not to say there aren't some very real rap beefs happening in music, right? And unfortunately, there have even been some losses and some actual casualties. But that's my point. Back in the day, post Biggie and Pac, especially after that whole incident occurred, rappers were laying their beefs out on tracks. That's when you were getting the best of Jay-Z versus Nas, and you had rappers going hard, and it was diss tracks coming out one behind each other, and the lyrics was so nasty, and the whole thing was laid out on tracks. But nowadays, everyone's weak. Excuse me, this is how I feel about it, but everyone's weak and rushing to pick up a gun. Right? Because they think that makes them somehow authentic in their made up persona.
No, that makes him a whole ass nigga. But just
and you know what? And it's sad. It's sad in my opinion.
Real sad.
Because it's not. They've lost the essence of what rap is supposed to be about. When rap was created, it was created to uplift our community. It was the height of the crack era in the 80s, right? The crack numbers were out of this world. Ghettos were increasing in populations where Black people used to be middle class. It was, the intent behind it was so fucking pure. So to see what it has developed to today is sad. Now, to relate that back to Rap City, the point that I was getting at is Rap City is nostalgia from the good old days where rappers were focused on their craft, their content, their lyricism, putting out good music, right? And unfortunately, I don't think just by the show returning that we're going to get back to those good old days. So that's my opinion on it. I'm going to go ahead and throw it to you, E-Man, to wrap us up. What say you, sir?
Thank you. But I'm still laughing because the simple fact is only coming out for just one day, one night.
I know,
one
right?
night, 24 hours. So I'm gonna say it like this.
I think it's all for the best. Honestly,
You started in your mama's basement, then you got out the basement. Now you're not even going back to the basement. You temporarily renting your own mama's basement for 24 hours and whatnot. Just saying, just to put it out there. Now I ain't got no shade on them, but just saying that you're renting your mama's basement for 24 hours for somewhat of a nostalgic feel, But it's not even shocking. I don't even know what this. It's just not shocking because once PAT told me it was only coming out for 24 hours, I was like, yeah, it's definitely being rebooted, but I don't think it even going anywhere after that. So, because right now, I'll just probably give everyone a taste if Rap City came out in this new modern era, you probably have Young Thug in there probably going like, he and ha, and be like, cool, great, or apple soda or some shit like that. I don't know, but you'll probably do about some weird beat and whatnot, Then you probably got a little Uzi Vert over there probably going to be like, pow, pow, I shot you and I did something cool, and I'm on my board or some shit like that, But that's the type of rappers we have today, So it's not even about bars. It's about how cool I look because I have a status because I'm called a rapper, So they're trying to make a rapper not be an occupation. They wanted to be more like a title,
Right. It's more of a title, more of a look. It's not even about the skill. It's more about being swaggy,
It ain't about what you can do on the mic and whatnot. Because I can tell everyone like this, many people don't know that rappers, especially, in the late 70s and 80s, they got joked on. Like they were actually shitted on, like really, a lot of them some of them got booed off stage and whatnot.
Oh, that used to happen a lot in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you whack. You got booed.
Yeah, and people got booed, so when this thing started, there was no love to it. Like there was not much love to it, like at all. You had West Coast hating East Coast rappers. You got West Coast rappers that don't even want to perform in the East Coast. You got East Coast rappers that don't want to even perform in the West Coast. They hated the West Coast, type of like groove, like G-funk thing. And they just hated, everyone on the East side, on the East Coast and whatnot, who was spitting raw lyrics and whatnot, who lived in the gutter. So there's been no love for this thing. Now we talking about modern age. It's not even about love anymore. It's not even the respect of the craft. Y'all just don't give a fuck. It's just about, let me put a little bit of dollars in my pocket. Everything feels good. Everything feels great. And then people shit on us talking about, we miss the nostalgic feel of like what it was because people respected what others did because they actually got booed off stage. Like I can't even imagine a performance now that people are getting booed off stage. Like I can't even imagine a show right now, any rapper stepping up, performing with someone saying boo, get off stage,
Yeah, it's accountability. That's the difference. It was accountability back then.
Yeah. Just to interject real quick. So as far as the booing off stage, honestly, I think it should go back to that. And the reason I'm saying that is because I feel like if it gets back to that point where people actually started booing some of these rappers off stage, it'll make these rappers think more about actually taking their craft more seriously. Like if a rapper sucks, they just need to get booed off the stage. Like it needs to go back to the days of like the Apollo, where like the Sandman used to come out. And, it needs to go back to that straight up. And we need the best of the best. And if you're not good, you get booed, and that's that, and that's the end of your career. Like, I think it needs to go back to that. Seriously.
I definitely agree. You know,
That sounds good to me, but I think we have too many sheep that wouldn't go along with that, because we definitely have too many people that buy into all this fake persona bullshit, and so they're willing to rep their artist or whoever they're a fan of, even when it's clear that they're trash. I mean, like Pat, we see the evidence of that in that rap group that we're in, where people just say the most outlandish shit. Like, we literally had a post the other day where someone literally posted and said that Project Pat was a better rapper than Mace. And I ain't gonna go into I'm not gonna go into a tangent. Whoa. But listen, and I fucked with some 3-6 beats and all of that stuff, and I've heard the Project Pat. Yeah, I've heard his content, but ain't a single freaking thing on this planet that can convince me that he was a better rapper than Mace.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
It's crazy. It's buffoonery.
But, they say some real like stupid shit in that group. Like, I don't even respond to. Yeah, just some real, like you said, buffoonish type shit. So
they doubled down on it.
Yeah, they doubled down on it.
I feel like what's happening is that sense of the South really needing to stick together and uplift their rappers. I mean, back in the day, it was significant too, but now it's like quantified to like the highest level. They will fight to the death claiming that some of the wackest fucking people from the South are in fact the greatest rappers or great or goats or etc., simply because of this need to stand behind their whack ass artists. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. It's a lot of yes men and a lot of sycophants. That's pretty much what's going on right now.
Fanboys and girls.
Right.
So do you guys remember Rich Boy and whatnot? That rapper from Alabama?
Yeah, I remember.
So at the time, I was actually in Alabama. Those people worship the feet of that man because he was the only rapper to break out and state that he was from Alabama. They wanted that man to say he was from Georgia. He refused to say it and whatnot,
Yeah.
And
that's whole facts, because Gucci Man was technically born in Alabama, but he claims Atlanta. I even want to say he was born and lived in Alabama for a good portion of his life, and then he moved to Atlanta, and so he claims Atlanta. But
to me, he looked like a Bama to me. He from Alabama, so I don't care what anybody say.
It's probably more marketable to rep Atlanta, though. Just looking at it from that angle, I mean, I think you should rep where you're from, wherever you were raised for most of your life. But Atlanta is definitely more marketable than Alabama. So
I think you hit the nail right on the head. Oh, I'm sorry, man.
No, I was just
going to say, I think you hit the nail right on the head, PAT, because let me be clear. Like, my daughter was born in Alabama. I lived there for 5 years. My fiance is from Alabama, and I actually happen to know a lot of rappers from Alabama who, believe it or not, do have gifts. Like, they are lyricists, but they are not out. And they have not had major success or major hits or etc., because they've also elected to not have to deal with all the fame stuff and then try to put their music out independently, because they are a bunch of conspiracy theories about the Illuminati stuff. So I throw that out there. But yes, I think Pat hit the nail on the head, where it's more marketable to rep Atlanta than it is Alabama. But I think we went off on a tangent. Our apologies, E-Man. Go ahead.
No, you good, because I was actually about to follow up on how they did Naughty by Nature and whatnot, trying to tell them to claim them from, they from New York, knowing that, they rep Jersey hard and one.
Yeah, Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I tell everybody, everyone keeps thinking, Jersey ain't rough. Like, yo, Jersey is rough.
Oh yeah, Jersey's definitely rough.
Hella rough.
Yeah,
So
I
I
don't
tell
know.
everybody,
I don't know who's saying that.
yeah,
Right. Exactly.
my sister lives in Trenton, and then my sister used to live in Newark and whatnot. And my aunt used to live up in, Newark, and, I've been around Newark, Jersey City. So I've been around that place. And yo, I seen some things when I was a kid. But yeah, like I have a lot of respect for Jersey because I feel like Jersey's like almost like my second home because like I went there a lot when I was a kid. So, and I really respect them. So it was weird to hear like how they wanted like, Naughty by Nature to rep New York, maybe because it's the whole big city, knowing it from Jersey. And it's so crazy that a lot of them don't even want to say shit, but a lot of those motherfuckers who actually swear they're from New York, a lot of them live in Jersey and whatnot. So I'm just putting it out there. Some of them be lying like shit that they be like, yo, damn near, they grew up in New York, but then afterwards they move out to Jersey and whatnot, and they be lying like shit. So sorry,
Well,
I had to go on this.
I think it's the same thing with like the whole Alabama and Atlanta thing. Like
It's the same thing.
New York is more marketable, but the thing is, New Jersey. I mean, you got Redman, Naughty by Nature. I know Raw Digger. Like there are some rappers, like some well-known rappers who are from Jersey. So if a rapper is to come out from New Jersey and rep New Jersey, that I don't think that's a big problem really. But I mean, I could see it on the flip side where, there might be a few of them who probably will latch on to New York and try to rep New York. But yeah, there's some that rep Jersey proudly. And I mean, I don't think there's any problem with that because I mean, yeah, Jersey's next to New York. And, some people might not see it quite like they see in New York because New York is like the major city. But, Jersey, I think Jersey gets its props, hip hop wise anyway. And I mean,
Totally.
Queen Latifah's from New Jersey also.
Correct.
Redman, do you know the amount of people from Jersey with talent and that have stepped out and said I'm from Jersey and etc. Like,
right.
I don't understand why anyone would not want to rep Jersey.
Right. Exactly.
The only one I don't acknowledge is Fetty Wap because he just the name itself sounds like it sounds silly and whatnot. Like who would name himself a rapper, call himself Fetty Wap and whatnot? To me, in my mind, I feel like he's like a broke down like Whopper and whatnot from Burger King and whatnot. But that's just me. But that's just me. But
I'm just saying, we just throwing out because you got that. I mean, like, isn't Joe Budden technically from Jersey?
Yeah, that's Jersey City
that's
all day.
Too. Yeah, and
that's Jersey
you got
City all
Joe
day.
Budden, Redman, Lauryn Hill, Queen Latifah. I mean, what? What are we talking about?
They tried to tell Joey already told me, he's like, yo, man, I'm from Jersey City and whatnot.
Yeah, he let him know. He repped it proudly too.
Yeah.
Oh no, Jersey City's behind Joe Budden. Like Joey, like they love him out there. Like, yeah, it's for him. I give him his mad respect because when he came out, they wanted to clown him. Yet he was a really good lyricist and whatnot. But Jersey City is behind like Joe Budden. So, but just to wouldn't say finish my thoughts, but continue my thoughts. But this whole Rhapsody thing, I don't know what plan they got. For them, they think like the whole 24 hours thing, and just be like, well, we're just gonna end it from there. And I feel like this might just be like the final ending. Big Tigger got out from his mama basement. Now he's this big radio personality. Now he got to go back in his mama. You got to rent out his mama basement for 24 hours and try to bring out that same nostalgia. And I'm like, nah, like I'd rather you just not bring it back and whatnot. Because you bring it back for 24 hours, that's like me finding $1, on the floor and it disappears, when I walk away and whatnot. And that shit didn't even make sense what I just said, right? It didn't make sense, because if I go pick up $1, and if I drop it and when I turn my back, it disappears. That's what's about to happen to Rhapsody. It's going to be on It's going to be there. Then poof, no more, you know? And, you know, and I feel like we just need to stop these whole reboot things. Like, if you're going to bring it back towards like you growing the thing where it's going back to its same feel, nostalgia, you know, and, you know, growing it back as a platform. You just bringing it back just to, you know, get people wet under their tongue because, ooh, Rhapsody is back. I'm like, nigga, please just stop trying to use money or try to use things to help people, you know, still enjoy what we still enjoyed when we were kids and whatnot. You know, if you ain't gonna bring it back, don't bring it back and whatnot. And this is why I'm mad, because the simple fact that they did it to the whole album, to the Chickmunks, and DuckTales and whatnot. You know, they ruined two good cartoon franchises. They thought bringing it back, then you modernize it, and the kids don't like it, and then you ruin the shit, and the shit only gets 2 seasons in and whatnot. Don't bring shit back unless you're gonna bring it back to the nostalgia that what it was and whatnot, so we can continue good shit. You know, stop bringing shit back because, oh, it makes money, it makes people feel good, and then afterwards, when you modernize it, the kids be like, boo, or we be like, boo, that shit sucks and whatnot. You know, stop trying to play off people's emotions. You know, and I'd rather it go back down into the basement where it was, where Rhapsody ended. I wanted to stay right there. I do not need 24 hours. Are you trying to make me feel good because you're bringing something back and whatnot? Then you will have shitty rappers on there, and then not have good people doing the shit that we need and whatnot. Just keep it back where it was. All right. Stop playing on people's emotions because you want things to come back. All right. Like that just shit just needs to stop and whatnot. So I'm gonna just end my thoughts on there. We need to just end on no more Rhapsody. Just leave it where it was, where it ended, and not bringing it back for the next 24 hours.
All righty. Thank you, sir. So it sounds like we're all in unison on the fact that Rhapsody just ain't gonna cut it these days, because rappers not necessarily cutting these days, with the exception of a few.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. I mean, come on.
All right, I feel you, sir. I feel you. Okay, so jumping into the next hot topic, we are discussing a very, very disturbing image that I'm sure many of you have seen. And if you haven't, please get your ass to whatever is your relevant news source. But it is the images that have come out recently of the Border Patrol and their interactions with Haitian immigrants. Specifically, there are photos of Border Patrol officers on horseback with what appears to be whips as they are trying to control Haitian immigrants crossing the border. So I'm going to go ahead and start us off on this subject. And our specific question is, should anyone be shocked at the racism that Haitian immigrants received at the border? So to the question, should anyone be shocked by the racism? No. But should we be outraged? Absolutely. It's 2021. And though that doesn't completely signify that racism has gone away, we are definitely in a more progressive time today than we were during fucking slavery. And everyone should want to see and advocate for immediate justice. I cannot be any fucking clearer on that. i.e., fire and charge those cops with violation of civil rights. That's at minimum. That's what I want to see at minimum. We cannot allow for this type of behavior to be justified in any way. We just can't. In other words, let me break this down for y'all. I am literally already seeing reports trying to justify this bullshit, that it was not an actual whip being used. It was some other type of police tool for riding the horses, blah, 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 the bullshit, right?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, already that shit is starting to pop up. And that to me is still illogical and unacceptable. Because the fact that there are any justifications of those images is unacceptable, considering what they are likened to. I mean, they're likened to images from slave times. You literally see white police officers on horseback, okay, fucking approaching the Haitian immigrants like they're cattle or something. And when you consider the continued injustices that Black people as a whole, as a race, face in this country, this shit is plain and simple unacceptable. Enough is enough. So what do we do about it? Because you all know me. The last thing I'm going to do is sit around and just complain and not come up with a suggestion or speak on how I plan to stand for what's right and what we expect, fucking justice. So, in my opinion, now more than ever is the time for all us melanated folks to unite and hit them where it fucking hurts, them pockets. Because let's be real, right? Yep. Oppressors have very little in their life that you can really hurt or affect them on. Their pockets, when you start hitting those pockets, that's your most effective weapon. It's that simple. And when we're talking about the Haitians, I mean, look at everything they've been through. Just like us, just like Black people in America, our Haitian brothers and sisters have been the victims of repeated atrocities at the hands of oppressors ever since they freed themselves from the French. I mean, it's a clear and concise pattern of disdain being showed towards them, just as it is for all of us melanated folks here. Example, for those of you all who are not in the know, okay? There was an earthquake in 2010, destroyed Haiti. Red Cross allegedly collected $488 million in donations toward rebuilding homes. Do you want to know how many fucking homes were built? 6 permanent homes.
Just 6?
Just 6.
It just should have just been 0. Because
just 6. $488 million, just 6. Now you all know me. I'm in finance. I did some math. I said, let me play around with some numbers a little bit.
You did math on that.
If they just took, let's do an estimate on the economics of Haiti and et cetera. We all know it's considered a poorer country and et cetera. Let's say it takes $25,000 to build one substantial resident for a Haitian family, right? Residency. With $488 million, if they had spent that money properly, they could have built 19,520 homes.
Their math is good though.
That's great. 6. Now, let's look at this. What does that sound like? What is that equivalent to? To me, that sounds just like the treatment of the victims of Hurricane Katrina. In today's modern society, there's no reason that there were hundreds of thousands of Hurricane Katrina evacuees who could subsequently never return to their homes and received very little aid. Meanwhile, the fucking French Quarter has been rebuilt and is flourishing. So let's get back to my point.
I'm sorry.
The topic at hand. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because the simple fact is how you get all that money and only build 6 homes.
Because they don't give a shit. They don't care. It's
you
not
just
their
just
plight.
Built 0 and you could have just taken the heat, but you build 6? Like, come on.
They don't care. They don't care. It's not their plight. And furthermore, the Haitian people are the ones who freed themselves from the French. That for what they're trying to, what the oppressors are trying to accomplish, the Haitian people are bad to their cause. They represent how strength looks for the melanated people when we stand together. That's dangerous, right? Let's keep shit a buck. That's dangerous for the oppressors.
Yeah.
So my suggestion would be to hit them where it hurts, those pockets. Imagine if we all came together and say, you know what? Not only are we demanding answers, but until we get them, we ain't spending a pretty fucking penny towards any kind of government related any fucking thing. Because let's be clear, a lot of counties and cities and etc., they do have a lot of their funds from the public, whether it's through taxes or etc. So imagine unifying to support each other and saying, we ain't giving $1 of donation money to any campaign of any leader who ain't down with the cause, who ain't, and you can't just say it. I don't want to hear your bullshit words and your rhetoric. If I don't see you out there with us, if I don't feel you when you speaking on Capitol Hill and etc., if you not for us, you against us type shit. That's where I'm at this fucking point. It's that simple. You're either for us or you're against us. Because it's too much gray area. That's why shit like this is allowed to happen. Too much gray area. It is time to militarize our efforts. Yes, you all heard me say militarize. I'm talking about fuck the rhetoric, fuck the conversations. It's obviously not getting anywhere when you think this kind of bullshit is acceptable in 2021. We're about to send you a clear message that is not. And we don't have to pick up a fucking gun to do it. Black people are one of the largest communities, believe it or not, when it comes to donations. Now, listen to me carefully. Black people are one of the most disenfranchised groups in the US. Yet, simultaneously, we are one of the largest set of faithful supporters when you get us to support you. Now, imagine if we stopped until you were doing what we expected you to do. It's that simple. We got to start militarizing the funds, the financial side of it. We're going to stop spending money. We're going to stop supporting you. You ain't getting $1 from this campaign. We ain't even going to give $1 in the fucking collection plate to your local reverend, Mr. Politician, if you can't do what you need to do to support our cause, which is justice, plain and simple. It's unacceptable. There's no getting around that. No, I'm not shocked by it, but I'm outraged by it, and the shit won't fly. It's that simple. Those are my thoughts on it. So, Email, what say you, my guy?
Thank you so much. So the question is, right, the racism against, the Haitian border. I'm like, I'm gonna say it as simple as you can say it, as any simpler that you can say it, more simpler is that there is the same bullshit that's been going on for years, and nothing. This don't even shock me. It really shouldn't. But what I really want to say is that, you know, slavery's still going on. You know, I don't care. These little border, the whole border patrol thing and whatnot, they're answering to somebody, regardless. You know, these people answer to somebody. You know, whether they choose to do what they want to do, they still answer to somebody. You know, and I mean, I can go on and on about the slave trade, you know, which the Arabs still control and whatnot. But it's ridiculous and sad, you know. You know, they're confusing everyone's mind on the whole situation. And what I mean by the whole situation, we're confused over the simple fact of, you know, what these Haitians are doing are wrong. They're not doing anything wrong. They're trying to upstand and uproar from the tyranny of the U.S. and every other exploiter, the Arabs, who's taking things that don't belong to them or destroy things that they shouldn't be destroying and whatnot. These people have every right to uproar and be mad. You know, you're disturbing their peace. You know, it's sad to say, you know, that certain kids, you know, who are Haitian, live in Haiti, you know, who tell you stories about, you know, what they have to deal with. There's more poor people that walk around Haiti, but yet the U.S. is willing to give them money, you know, but are they really giving them money? Nah, they're just stealing it, you know. You know, they fool everyone, just like Nine Angel said, that the Red Cross took donations in $400 and some odd $million.
Mm-hmm. Allegedly $488 million, according to articles.
I'm not going to say the word alleged because y'all motherfuckers know y'all got that money. I don't give a damn about the word alleged. You can censor my ass off YouTube, what you want to do. You can shadow ban my bitch ass off YouTube. You can do whatever you fucking want to do. But I know y'all motherfuckers ain't going to sit here and play this alleged game with me. It ain't happening, boo-boo. It's just not happening. Because for me, I'm going to just go slap a hoe and whatnot until y'all get your shit right. So y'all can say it correctly out your mouth. Be like, the Red Cross got $400 million some odd dollars off donations. Don't play this alleged game with me. I'm not here to be playing around and everything with y'all games and whatnot, talking about alleged and whatnot. No, nigga, you did what you did and you know what you did and you know what was wrong and whatnot. Then y'all bitch asses only made 6 homes and whatnot. You should have just made 0 and whatnot. You know, would you think making 6 would just be there and then you take pictures of it and be like, ooh, we got 6 homes over here and whatnot? I don't know. Haiti is a damn big ass nation / country. I don't think 6 houses is going to do with people who are probably over, you know, probably 100,000 or, you know, or 250,000, maybe 300,000 people that live over there. I don't know the number count, but, you know, there's a lot of people over there. And I know 6 homes can't fill that many people in it, you know? So I don't know. You think you're trying to be like Houdini and you think like, you know, y'all some type of wizard and be like, poof, there go 6 houses. Now I need to make 1 million people live in that bitch. Poof, you know, and it ain't happening. So, you know, I'm tired of y'all games because that's what y'all do. Y'all play games and whatnot. You know, for me, I don't play games at all. I'm not here to be playing your game and whatnot. That's not what I do. People can play your game. I'm not playing your game, you know, and that's the thing that these assholes need to get and understand, you know, because that is the most sick and vile thing you can do. It's not about you just taking in donations, but you only made 6 homes out of it, you know, 6. Like, like, just make zero and take the money. No, because if I don't make any home, then basically I'm a fraud, and I'm taking
Six
things.
is just as fucking bad. Like, that's such a slap in the face. Like, there's no justification for just 6 homes with $488 million. Like, none.
Correct. And I was just about to say that. Correct. And thank you, Nine. And that's where I'm getting at. This is why I don't. And this is the thing about donations that I'm about to spill the bean on. So when you give anybody a donation, right? It's a donation. It basically means you can deduct it from your tax. That basically means it is not considered as income. Listen to the word income, means basically it's inner through you. So it's coming innerly through you. Now these donations, right? All right. You can do whatever you want with a donation. So when you donate money to anybody, they can do whatever they want to it. They don't have to do what they have to do with it. No. This is why I don't trust the Red Cross, because it's a non-profit for profit type of business, just like a hospital. I didn't know that was a thing, but it is a thing and whatnot. So the Red Cross is playing motherfuckers, just like many hospitals tend to do the same thing under weird pretenses. That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother time on a whole nother episode. But all I'm just saying is, it's sad and pathetic that they're still raping a nation out of its good, its people, and making it seem like it's their fault and whatnot, hurricanes are not happening over there. People are playing around with nature to get all this shit happening down there. Those hurricanes or volcano, anything that from nature that you're trying to erupt, you're trying to destroy Haiti and whatnot. That's all y'all trying to do. And it's very sad that it's coming from casualty of people who have done nothing wrong and whatnot. That's what it's been all this time. Nobody has done anything wrong, but then there's always that outside force that tends to do something, but then blame it on them. And that's what I feel like this situation is, because it goes way beyond racism, discrimination. There's greed, there's deceptions, there's lies, it's everything down the list, because only greedy people do greedy things. And the more greedy you are, you want to keep wanting more. And that's what it is, So no matter what they say about this border control, they're doing what they're choosing, what they want to do. Because if they didn't want to do it, they would do the right thing so they can have the right thing for everyone to be good and be safe, and leave that country, correctly. What I mean by correctly, that basically means that they can leave freely without any shit that they had to deal with from all these bullshit so-called, wouldn't even say laws, but I would say more constraints. That's a better word, constraints. So, and just ending on my thought, this whole border thing is never going to change, because people can say, they're having issues with border control in Haiti. Then they say they're having the same thing in Afghanistan, same thing in Kuwait, same thing in the Middle East, same thing in different parts of Africa, same thing in South America also too. And the same thing with the same big old country of Mexico. There's always border issues and whatnot, and I tell everybody at the end of the day, these are the lies you keep hiding for destroying countries that you don't need to be messing with. United States of America, basically the government of the United States of America, and the Arabs and whatnot, who keeps pushing the slave trade. So I'm gonna just end it like this. We need to stop the BS, let people live how they choose to want to live. Because this shit just needs to stop. Because it's silly and like humane, like really humane. Like I don't know why no one is putting a case against the Red Cross and whatnot. Not because of the donations. It's just the simple fact is that they know what donations are, and they know they don't have to spend any money that they choose not to spend it on if it's a donation. That's the sickening part. Because not just because they know the law. It's the simple fact is they know the law so well, so it benefits them and not helping the right people in need based upon what your so-called rhetoric of like a company is supposed to do and whatnot. And to end my last and final thought, you know, I already know, I don't know who owns Red Cross, you know, but when they always send aid, it's always them. And basically, and FEMA comes to the US, and basically, when you're interconnected, having your own boys do everything, the money always comes back to you. And that's how it keeps working. So it's not even about border control. It's all about painting a picture to destroy other people's lives so you can keep getting richer and richer. And that shit just needs to stop. I'm going to just end my thoughts on that.
All right. Thank you, sir. Mr. PAT, we're going to throw it to you to wrap us up. What say you, sir?
Lot to say. A lot to say. It's like where do I start? You know, it's crazy when you
can continue on mine, but yeah.
it's just crazy when you think about all this shit. I mean, man. All right. So to answer the question, I mean, so we're asking, should anyone be shocked at the racism that Haitian immigrants received at the border? My direct answer to that would be no. No one should be shocked about the racism that Haitian immigrants have received at the border. No one should be shocked. The only people who would be shocked are the people who are acting dumb or quite possibly might really be dumb.
Willfully ignorant.
Or yeah, willfully ignorant. We'll just put it like that. The thing is, we live in a system of white supremacy. I'm going to just put it plain and simple, flat out. We live in a system of white supremacy. I think, honestly, if we're to go back to whether it's about people who are acting dumb or people who just are dumb, I think it's more so people acting dumb. Because let's be clear here. Everyone knows we live in a system of white supremacy. I don't care who tries to act like they don't know. They know. They're just pretending, or they're, like I said before, they're acting dumb. Speaking of the system of white supremacy, the powers that be have always had a bone to pick with Haiti. Now, people might ask, well, why is that? Well, because of the Haitian Revolution. It's that simple. Africans back then were brave enough and courageous enough to fight their oppressors. They not only fought their oppressors, but they beat their oppressors. They won the physical battle. And let's be real, that has never sat well with the white power structure.
That's true. That's very true.
It has never sat well with them. So because of that, they've always had a bone to pick with the Haitians. Unfortunately, after the revolution, the Haitians had to deal with France, basically ending up in debt and paying for, and I'm putting up my air quotes for this one, but paying for damages. The air quotes are around damages. If you know, some of y'all out there catch my drift. Haiti in recent years, and we could say decades, hasn't really fared too well. especially when you look at the earthquake that happened back in 2010, and more recently, the assassination of President Moise. Another earthquake happened after the assassination. Aside from that, and some internal issues, Haiti's just been taking some serious L's. I hate to put it like that, but they've been taking a lot of L's lately. The Haitians that migrated to the US are really no different than non-Black immigrants who have migrated to the US. The thing is, Black immigrants are treated much worse than non-Black immigrants. Now, should this be a surprise to anyone? No, I don't think it should be. Even though the US might mistreat non-Black immigrants, the fact is some of them are more welcomed because they can pass for white. Now, Biden has already spoken on providing citizenship to millions of undocumented immigrants. Let's be real here, folks. He's talking about Latinos. I mean, maybe some Black people could be rolled into that plan, but for the most part, that plan is for Latinos. The Biden administration would have no issue making Latinos US citizens because eventually those same Latinos will replace the Black vote.
Well, because, and here comes this thing, sorry to cut you off, but Latinos are considered as white based upon the whole thing with Spain and the whole Christopher Columbus thing.
Yeah.
They don't even consider them as what they like to call minority, which is, dumb people, but
some of them, I think some of them are still seen as minority.
But they're not.
Well, really the Black ones anyway.
Yeah.
Your Black Latinos.
So your Dominicans, your Haitians, your Puerto Ricans, yes.
Yeah.
Because they're of us, but more of your more from those who are El Salvador, more the lighter,
basically the white looking ones.
Yeah. They don't consider them. They're mostly originated from Spain because they don't have the inner breed of us. They have a slight pinch, but it's not us. So those are the ones who get the pass and get called as, white and whatnot.
Right, because they're pretty much European. So
basically, they're basically that's what they are. So yeah,
right, yep. But yeah, so going back to Latinos replacing the Black vote, that's pretty much what's going to happen eventually. Now I'm talking about the Black vote that the Democrats need to win elections. See, the Democrats have pandered to Black people and provided Black people with nothing. Yeah, they don't give shit to Black people. They give things to everybody else, but not Black people. What they give to Black people is symbolic gestures. See, everyone else either gets a bill specifically for their protection or they get money for their businesses. Asians. So there's even some talk in the Matrix about $6.4 billion to help out Afghan refugees and get them into the US. Now, I got a question for the people out there listening. This could be a real question or even a rhetorical question, but how many of them do you think, and I'm talking about the Afghan refugees, how many of them do you think will identify with being Black? Oh, don't worry, I'll wait. I have all the time in the world. I will wait for that answer. But in all seriousness, though, what has been happening to Haitian immigrants is not surprising. Now, while the white supremacists on the right might be hostile towards immigration because they're afraid of white people becoming a racial minority, the white supremacists on the left are okay with immigration for the simple fact that immigrants, the white passing ones, will eventually replace Black people altogether. So what this all boils down to for me is the fact that we live in a system of white supremacy. I know I'm repeating myself, but I was always taught that repetition is for safety. So when I repeat myself, that's for safety, for all out there who catch my drift. I'm talking about a system that doesn't give a damn about Black people from America, doesn't give a damn about Black people from Africa, and doesn't give a damn about Black people from the Caribbean, and doesn't give a damn about Black people anywhere else on the globe. Now, the divisiveness amongst the African diaspora, for real, is really pointless. Because when it's all said and done, the system finds ways to abuse all Black people. The Black people who migrated to the US and been upwardly mobile, as they would say, were able to do that because they've shown that they're not here to fight white supremacy. That's cool and all, but see, the system doesn't just smack around descendants of American slaves. It smacks around Africans from other countries too. See, coming to America and thinking you're somehow a different Black person or a unique Black person who somehow escaped Blackness is a fucking joke. It's a joke. I'm gonna just say it straight out. It's a joke. Really, what you're doing is you're playing games with yourself if you think that way. I mean, you could be a good pet Negro and put on your tap dance shoes if you want, but how long do you think that will last before the system shows you its true colors? Once again, what has been happening with Haitian immigrants should be no surprise. Being whipped at the border is no anomaly. I mean, that's standard OP. If Black immigrants aren't being whipped at the border, literally, then let's look at the millions of Black people who are mass incarcerated and being whipped figuratively. We all know that there are Black immigrants within the prison system as well. I'm gonna just say in closing, I wish people would stop playing games with themselves. I really wish people would stop playing these mind games with themselves. We all know why things are happening the way they are. We live in a global system of white supremacy. Haitian immigrants aren't just being mistreated here in the US, but also down there in Mexico. The Mexican government doesn't give a damn about Haitian immigrants either. And the link will be in the description because there is an article, there's actually quite a few articles speaking on that. So that will be in the description as well. But yeah, the Mexican government, they don't give a damn about Haitian immigrants. Why do I bring that up? Well, let's be real. Since white supremacy is global, other countries have white supremacist practices also. Being African anywhere on this globe is a strike against Black people, because at the very core, non-Black people are afraid of Black people. They know how powerful the African is. And when it's all said and done, they're afraid of genetic annihilation. That's what all this is at its core. So I'm gonna just end it off on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing. Definitely a tough topic. I'm glad we addressed that one, fellas. And I hope for our listeners out there, you understand that, again, we are definitely never going to shy away from the difficult topics. And this one obviously was one that meant a lot for us to speak on. So thanks for listening in. Moving on to the last subject of the session, definitely not the least, but definitely in the media. And for those listeners who haven't heard yet, I don't know how you haven't, but just in case you haven't, let me tell you what we're talking about. We're talking about Mr. Robert Kelly being found guilty for everything he was charged with.
My mind is telling me no.
Oh my gosh, did you really turn on music, sir?
Nope.
Wow.
But my body.
Okay.
My body's telling me yeah.
Okay, it's so funny because there was something happening on my end, and I was like, what the hell? An article turned on, and I thought you started turning on the background music for an R. Kelly song. I was about to say, what? That's crazy. But yes, so for our listeners out there, here is what we're going to be discussing, which is, what does R. Kelly's guilty verdict mean for his legacy and the Black community? So I'm going to go ahead and start us off on this one. And I have a two-part answer to this question. So
sorry to cut you off, Nia Angel.
No, you're fine.
I just want to say, hopefully he was not trapped in the closet at all. Just saying.
Well, let me just say this. And again, I'll repeat the question one more time for our listeners out there. What does R. Kelly's guilty verdict mean for his legacy and the Black community? And I have a two-part answer to that. And the first part of my answer is fuck his legacy. I don't give two shits about his legacy. Damn. Period. I care about the many young girls he victimized.
Even the one he pissed on too?
Listen, fuck his legacy. I don't give a shit about it. Period. I don't care about his legacy. I don't care about what he did for music. I don't give a fuck. Once you become a monster, your accomplishments don't mean shit to me.
I definitely
You know
agree,
what?
but
Honestly, R. Kelly is a testament to everything that's wrong with the Black community when it comes to protecting women. And let me further explain this. Everyone has something to say about the fact that he was molested himself, or some of the parents basically sold the kids to him. That's what they're saying. And those around him supported his behavior. And listen, I'm not saying that all of those things aren't factors, because I understand. However, the glaring gist of the matter is R. Kelly knew what he was doing was wrong and continued to victimize young girls. Whether it was the enablement of all those aforementioned or not, he himself committed the act.
his body was
like
definitely
people
calling
are
to him,
more
though.
concerned with justifying his actions so they can continue to listen to his music than they are about the welfare of his victims. And that shit in itself is super concerning and ridiculous. I mean, unfortunately, there have been very many people who have been molested and have never touched anyone else inappropriately. So it's not an excuse. It's this same type of bullshit behavior, excusing the perpetrator, that allowed those touchy-feeling relatives to get away with their atrocities when people knew what they were up to. And let's not pretend like that's not an issue in the Black community, because it is. We all have heard of or know someone who has a relative who was known as that touchy-feely, oh, stay away from them, or they did this, or they did, and ain't nobody doing shit about it, oh, because that's a relative. That should not fucking matter. I don't give a fuck about R. Kelly's legacy. Yes, I'm dropping the F-bomb because I think it's ridiculous that anyone would. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, let's be honest, right? It's a huge issue that needs to be addressed in our community. Because yes, all of those who contributed to his acts, whether it was the parents who were allowing their young daughters to hang around a grown-ass man, or the team he had that enabled him to do all of this shit and recruited girls, yeah, some of them need to be charged as accessories too, absolutely. But it's a difference between an accessory and a perpetrator. And people need to not be making excuses for the perpetrator. I mean, think about it like this. That's like someone saying Hitler is not guilty because Germans and Nazis supported him. They're all fucking guilty, but the guiltiest party is the one who exerted their influence over the helpless. Another example, Charles Manson didn't actually commit any of the crimes he was convicted on, but he ordered them. And the court argued, these people literally testified that they would do whatever Charles Manson told them to do. All of them said this. And so when they convicted him based on that because he knew that that was the case. And he utilized that to get what he wanted. The same is true for Rape Kelly. It's that simple. So for me, anyone who makes the argument that we can still support his music because his music is separate from his actions as a human being, get the entire fuck out of here. Are we going to go buy some Hitler artwork just because his artwork might be dope, but it was separate from the Holocaust? Are we going to go buy some artwork or some products of what we have bought products of previous slave owners just because those products were good? No, not a single fucking Black person will sit up in my face and tell me, yeah, I would have supported the slave owner because his product was good, even though he owned slaves. Cut the bullshit. Just stop. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous notion to support. I don't give a fuck about any song he made that was catchy. Any great. Chris Brown made great music. It's a lot of other R&B people. Go get behind some of their shit. Don't talk to me about Rapist Kelly music being great and it being excluded from his unbelievably outlandish, unacceptable, ridiculous behavior. It's just that simple for me. There's no excuse for it. We've got to stop this shit. That's the problem with the Black community. That's why so many victims are afraid to speak up, male and female, because there's so many people who will make excuses for this bullshit. There is no fucking excuse for his behavior. You know how many people have been molested and have never molested anyone else? It's not an excuse to say that. Mm-hmm. It's not an excuse. He knew what he was doing was wrong. He knew some of these girls were underage. They recruited underage girls. That's why I said yes. Some of the people who supported his habit absolutely should be charged as an accessory. Absolutely. But there is a difference between being charged as an accessory and being the actual perpetrator. Yes, you can argue it's wrong because they helped to perpetrate his behavior, but he still was R. fucking Kelly. Without a single one of them, he still could have influenced young girls to do what he did to them. He deserves to go to fucking jail. No, I don't give a fuck about his music. No, I'm not going to die because I can't hear any more of R. Kelly music. I mean, I don't give a fuck with the argument. He's the Pied Piper. He's the greatest R&B singer. I don't give a fuck. It's more R&B options to listen to. I'll be all right. I'll be straight. Cool. I'm okay. I can live without it. I'm not going to die.
I don't know what was funnier. It was the simple fact is, was it more options or the way you said it that I'll be all right? The
argument is so fucking ridiculous. Yeah, but he made such, I don't give a fuck. You know how many people make great R&B music? I haven't listened to R. Kelly since all of these allegations came out, and I have not suffered. I promise you, my love life is okay. And everything.
I really haven't listened to any R. Kelly in quite some time, and it hasn't been And I tell people, it hasn't been because
the end of the world.
Fact of what's been going on with him. It's just the simple fact is like it had its time, you know. That's just me, you know.
It just, to me, that argument is so crazy that people are literally trying to say, well, his music is separate from what he did. Bitch, what?
That's like saying
what would you support the slave owner product because them owning slaves is separate from their great products? If anyone tells me yes, I'll roundhouse their ass because it's a lie. Shit. That's about the only martial arts move I know, and I will use it. I will roundhouse you in your fucking chin.
That's a deadly kick. That's a whole like 360.
But anyway, so to answer the question, to wrap it up, to sum it up. No, you're good, Elaine. To sum it up, fuck his legacy. I don't give a fuck about it. And the Black community, yeah, it's going to affect us, hopefully in the positive way. Hopefully we're going to learn from this enabling ass behavior that allowed him to continue for so many years doing this just because a lot of us liked his music. Those are my thoughts on it. I'm going to throw it to you, Mr. PAT. What say you, sir?
I gotta come after that. Oh man, as always, Naya Angel bringing the fire.
She ain't just bring the flames. Yeah,
here and there. I'm saying a little bit of flair.
Oh man, but great answer all around. You know, so for me, the answer is very simple. In terms of R. Kelly's legacy, it is ruined. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's ruined, you know. So to answer that, yeah, it's done. It's a wrap for R. Kelly. He's pretty much in the same predicament as Bill Cosby. We're talking career destroyed and legacy destroyed. Now, will there be people who still support R. Kelly? Of course. There will always be people who support R. Kelly. Even going back to Bill Cosby, there are people who still support Bill Cosby. But since we're focused on R. Kelly, yeah, there will be people who will support R. Kelly. There's always going to be people who are going to not only just listen to the music, but they're going to still spend money on R. Kelly things, whether it's on his music or, well, I mean, he's not going to be out there making money anymore, but, you know, they're still going to support R. Kelly in whatever way he could still be supported, whatever that might be. But of course, you know, R. Kelly's music has been a huge part of people's lives. I could speak for myself when I say that R. Kelly's music has been some of the best music that I've ever heard. But for those who have been following R. Kelly, we're well aware of the allegations that have been made against him. We're aware of the many women who have spoken on their experiences with him. We're aware of the marriage to Aaliyah. May she rest in peace.
Underage at that.
Right, and she was underage at that.
I definitely agree, but that was like my crush right there.
Oh yeah, Aaliyah. Oh, absolutely.
I'm sorry,
but what continue. He did was just egregious. But yeah, so some of us have seen the infamous tape of him and the girl, where I guess he's pissing on the girl. I still haven't seen this tape. I'm just putting it out there. I haven't seen it. I've been hearing about it. I know people who said they've seen it.
I've seen the tape.
I haven't seen it. So, you know, I don't want to. I don't have any. I've never
watched that sick shit.
Yeah, it sounds sick. It just really sounds it just sounds sick as fuck. So I don't want to watch it. Like, I just never had an interest.
I didn't own it. One of my cousins had it. I didn't believe it, but then when I saw it, I'm like, why would you do something like that? One, but two, they said it wasn't him in the first place.
I was just about to bring that up. So the people I know who said they've seen it, some of them said that it was him, and then there were others who said it wasn't. So at the time when I heard about it, I didn't know what the fuck to believe. I just thought it was crazy just hearing about it. But anyway, not to get too off into another tangent, I'm gonna just say I never seen it and don't want to. As we all know, R. Kelly has been found guilty. He could face 10 or more years in prison, but we won't know for sure until May of 2022. With all of this being said, yes, his legacy is most certainly ruined. Now, in regards to the Black community, I say that the verdict means he is a proxy for Black men, pretty much in the same way that Bill Cosby was, or still is. R. Kelly, unfortunately, is just yet another high-profile Black man who now becomes the face of rape culture. Now, this was a high-profile
rapist.
Right. And I'm gonna unpack that. I'm gonna unpack that.
Damn.
But this was a high-profile case for quite a few reasons. Obviously, based on what we've been hearing, based on the accusations, based on the allegations, it's all deplorable. Let me just say that it's deplorable. The mistreatment of women is deplorable. If everything we've heard is true and factual, then yeah, of course, there should be punishment. And obviously he did get punished. So yeah.
Isn't it a fact he married Aaliyah underage? There are legal documents to prove he
that's
falsified.
That's factual. That I know is, that's concrete.
He falsified legal documents because there's this rumor that her parents were aware. That is not true. They got married without the parents' consent and he falsified documents so he could marry an underage girl.
That's fucking crazy right there.
Yeah, it is crazy, but the question, I don't know what state they got married in and whatnot, because I keep telling everyone, if you don't open up your law books, you're going to not find some really secret truths and whatnot.
Yeah, but in this case, it doesn't matter because he falsified the documents. So it's not even about whether the state allows the marriage. It's the extent he went to marry an underage girl.
I get that, and that makes perfect sense. But here comes the thing that many people don't know. Do you know there's a Maryland law that states that you can marry a 15-year-old in 9 months with parents' consent and whatnot, but yet he didn't have parent consent? So like a state like Georgia, if they're 16, the child has their own consent to get married to anybody. And that law is still that law is still in ground. I actually saw the law myself and whatnot. Yes, that law is still in ground and whatnot. So
and that's sick. But in this case, in R. Kelly's specific case, whatever state he was in, he didn't follow the legal means, which are sick in themselves.
That's true.
He falsified the documents.
That's even worse.
Right. And there was actually a friend of his who helped to falsify it, if I remember correctly.
Good Lord.
Somebody was an accomplice.
Good Lord.
Either way, he did it.
She was 15. It was 1995. She was 15. A friend of his helped him to falsify the documents. They started having sex, according to the New York Times article about it, at 13. A close witness to them said she was 13. 14 years old.
Oh God. Ugh.
He is fucking sick. There's no way around that shit.
How?
Oh wow.
I just got chilled from that. That's just
this is the New York Times reporting that this person was the backup dancer to R. Kelly, who testified that she saw him engaging in a sexual act with Aaliyah in 1993 when Aaliyah was 13 or 14 years old. She testified to this.
Wow. What the?
I don't know what to say. I just don't. I really don't. Like, oh my goodness.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Pat.
No.
But I just wanted to clarify that.
No, it's all good. No, I mean it. Man, that's fucking sick. That. All right. Well, wow. So that's crazy. But so yeah, going back to wow. Just you bringing that up is just wow. That's fucking sick.
Because like, and the only reason I did bring it up is because people kept saying her parents knew and they were wrong, and they bad-mouthing Leah's parents, and they've already lost their daughter. They have made it vehemently clear they did not know. The documents were falsified. The person that helped R. Kelly falsify the documents admitted to that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like the other parents of girls who did shady shit when it came to R. Kelly. They did not know.
So the guy who helped them falsify, that nigga didn't get no jail time or nothing?
Well, I don't know what's happening with him. I've heard rumors that they do plan on following up with some of these people who enabled him, but I don't know how true that is. I guess we'll have to see over time.
Sick shit I keep talking about.
Should follow up with those people.
They should. I think
it's the same sick shit I keep talking about.
Now, let me be clear on that. I totally agree with y'all on that. You and PAT, E-Man, on that they should definitely follow up with everyone who contributed to this shit with the accessory charges or whatever the applicable charge would be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you finish, PAT. But the thing that's puzzling me right now, my man falsified documents in fucking 95. And I don't know what state, to falsify something. So it means that basically he definitely tried to meet it under their condition of law and whatnot. But this nigga didn't go to jail for it? I don't. This is why I keep questioning.
Well, again, I'm not sure when he admitted it. I'm not sure when he admitted it, and I'm not sure that they're not going to follow up because, again, there has been rumors that the authorities do intend to follow up with some of the co-conspirators.
Good grief!
Well, with that in particular, there might be some statute of limitations, but I'm not sure.
I'm thinking it is because that's damn near 20 years. That's literally.
I agree with you completely.
Yeah, so who knows if they could even do it? I don't know. It all remains to be seen. But
y'all see why I don't just hate the law, but I just dislike it so fucking much and whatnot, like so much, because they don't even tell people that many laws that were written. Because they don't change laws. They revise and they don't really edit. They just revise or they add on to it and whatnot. They don't edit at all. Because once it becomes law...
Just to clarify, sorry, man, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Good.
But just to clarify, I just confirmed that Pat is right. The New York Times article says that... a lot of the crimes that were committed in the 90s at this point would be past the statute of limitations.
That's what I thought.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Because I think New York does. I think New York is like everyone else. I think it's like 5-7 years.
It specifically says potential sex crimes that date to the early 1990s would typically be too old to prosecute.
Yeah.
There it goes.
I mean,
there it goes.
Yeah,
there it goes. Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking because I'm like, this shit happened decades ago.
And,
I don't know if they're gonna try to really pursue that.
That's fucked up. Damn.
It is.
Just imagine if we had not just having camera, because camera phones were out there, but they were highly expensive to buy. But just imagine how we have all these smartphones back in the early 90s, which and everyone's on their phone recording and what nowadays now, so they can catch everything. Just imagine how much would have been caught. Just imagine how much,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
like a
Completely
MySpace and
different
everything, Facebook.
era.
Like, so look how much everything would have been caught and whatnot, you know. But that's just, you know, that's just my take. So
yeah, sorry, PAT. Go ahead.
You're good. Now you're good. It's all good. Definitely, you know, we're having a dialogue, and this is what the Good, the Bad, and the Truth podcast is all about.
Yes, sir.
Very organic. We feed off each other, so no issue at all there. But yeah, just to so touching on the high profile Black man who becomes the face of rape culture. So touching on that piece. See, I always look at things within the framework of the system we live in. We have to remember that we live in a system that demonizes Black people, especially Black men. Everything negative is associated with Black. So when you think of something like crime, for example, that is already heavily associated with Black people. And again, Black men, especially. R. Kelly is just one person. Now, of course, since he's a celebrity, he will get a lot of media coverage. But that's part of the point. The media coverage puts the spotlight on him as a Black man who has committed a crime. He has been found guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking. Okay, so we can't act like racketeering and sex trafficking weren't a thing before R. Kelly. And I'm just saying this, speaking in general. Now, I came across an article called 11 Facts About Human Trafficking. And I'm just going to read a few of the facts. I won't read all of them because the link will be in the description for those who want to check that out. But here are some of the facts. And then this is in the article. It's estimated that internationally, there are between 20 million and 40 million people in modern slavery today. Assessing the full scope of human trafficking is difficult because so many cases so often go undetected, something the United Nations refers to as, quote, the hidden figure of crime. So that's one fact. The second fact I'm going to read is human trafficking earns global profits of roughly 150 billion a year for traffickers, 99 billion of which comes from commercial sexual exploitation. The third fact I'll read is globally, an estimated 71% of enslaved people are women and girls.
Correct.
While men and boys account for 29%.
Correct.
Now, for the fourth one, and this will be the last one, in 2018, over half, 51.6% of the criminal human trafficking cases active in the US were sex trafficking cases involving only children.
Of course.
Right. So those are just a few facts, but just from those few, it should be clear how egregious it is. Now, I bring this up because human trafficking is something that has gone on globally, and it has gone on aided and abetted.
Of course.
R. Kelly is found guilty of it, and his face becomes the face of it, which some people will be like, okay, so what? He's guilty of a crime, blah, blah, blah. All right, I understand that part, but it's not just about R. Kelly. What happens is R. Kelly's face becomes the face of it, but what that really means is it's a Black man's face being the face of it.
So that basically is stating that black men are all rapists.
Pretty much. It's communicating that idea.
Yes.
So,
but who says that this story isn't sensationalized because it's R. Kelly as opposed to it being a high profile black man? I mean, I think I definitely understand the premise, right? But R. Kelly and these sexual allegations aren't new to our community. It's been known for 20 plus years of his
course.
Behavior.
Well, here comes the thing. That makes total sense. But here comes the thing. When you condone bad behavior, it means you accepted it. You know?
No, I agree. I totally agree.
And that's what happened. That's like I'm not saying it's a bad. I'm not going to say if it's like a bad thing or a good thing, but when you condone bad behavior, and I tell this to like all my students, like when people start condoning your bad behavior, when people start condoning all your bad habits, you know, they're saying it's okay, it's good, it's great, and whatnot. This is what happened with R. Kelly.
Totally agree with you on that. That was one of my points. I told you that the black community just kind of brushed this under the rug because it's common.
Right. And I was going to touch on that too. Yeah.
But
go ahead, Mr. PAT.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but yeah.
Oh no, I was going to touch on that part. See, the thing is, so we've known R. Kelly has been messing with little girls or whatever since way back when, or we've heard about it. We knew about we knew about Aaliyah. We heard about that. And a lot of us in our age group were younger. So probably back then for us anyway, I can't speak for, the adults back then, but for us, we probably didn't even really process it the way it should have been processed. We just heard about him and Aaliyah and we just kind of maybe brushed it off, but the adults, the grown-ups back then enabled it. And they're really they're the ones that we have to look to and say, well, you all swept this under the rug, because if R. Kelly was big in the 90s, I mean, we were kids in the 90s. I'm talking about us on this panel and people in our age group, people who are
totally agree.
We were kids in the 90s. We were just listening to R. Kelly's music. So the stuff we were hearing, whether it was him and Aaliyah or like anything else, it was just, we couldn't really, like I said, we couldn't process it properly.
That's true.
So
I agree with that.
Yeah. So the grown-ups back then who are just more grown now, we got to look at them and say, hey, well, why did y'all let that happen? Or why was this brushed under the rug? Because R. Kelly had adult fans back then. I mean, yeah, we were fans when we were kids, but there were grown folks who were fans as well. And they knew about stuff. They heard about stuff. They aided and abetted, so we have to look at them and say, hey, why'd y'all, brush this stuff under the rug? If y'all was hearing X, Y, and Z, why was this allowed to continue for decades?
Because it was good to condone bad behavior.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately,
because of what I was saying earlier, it's like it's one of those situations where it's like, oh, that's just Uncle Kelly, who's the touchy-feely one, and for some reason, the black community has sort of just accepted these people because of the I'm going to say misplaced value they may hold to people. Like in R. Kelly's situation, it's his music. That's the misplaced value that people are holding. Oh, his music was so great. It's okay that there are rumors that he's been, inappropriate with young girls. He married Aaliyah at, 15, was having sex with her at 13. It's sick now when you sit back and are old enough, and to Pat's good point, for our generation, because we were children then, couldn't recognize it then. But he's absolutely right that we got to hold accountable those ones who were old enough to understand back then exactly what was going on and enable that bullshit behavior.
I mean, we can't even hold no accountability over it if the statutory of like the crime don't
Statute
even
of
mean anything
limitation.
anymore.
Yeah, well, for
Yeah.
certain things, yes.
I
Yeah, for
mean,
those things, yeah, you're right, man. Those things that are out of the statute of limitations, we can't. But that doesn't mean that as a community, we can't look back and reflect on it and recognize that there was a serious problem there and may still be existing to some capacity, not just with R. Kelly, but in general, and make an appropriate change because the victims deserve that from us.
I mean,
I think
all
people
victims
tend to
deserve that.
lose. Exactly. That's my point. I think people tend to lose sight of the victims in these situations. They get so enthralled on their viewpoints of it, and not any of us on this call, because I know we're all aware. But for others, there are some people that get so enthralled on their viewpoints on it. Oh, his music was great, and all, and other people enabled him, etc. They forget that it's a victim here. No parent of a daughter would ever make an excuse for a man who slept with a grown ass man, 27 years old, who slept with their 13-year-old daughter. Not any good parent anyway.
Right. You said
A
the
good
keyword good
mother.
parent.
I mean,
Right. Exactly. That's the key word. A good mother and a good father trying to think of every way possible to get away with that murder.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, that makes sense. But but I would say this, you know, when I'm not like picking sides or anything, but I've listened to a lot of different stories and of other people who try to make it in not just the music industry, but toward in that whole circle of being known. I don't like to use the word celebrity, but I've heard crazy stories of not just from not just black but whites and all, but toward the many things that they had to do just to get their kids to get this extra push and whatnot, and so and the one thing what drives people to that that push is it's not the money, it's about the lifestyle of within, so I can't speak on their parents, and I don't know what their situation was like in the in the 90s and whatnot, but certain people can get pushed to that limit and then they feel embarrassed about the things that they've done throughout their past and whatnot. I've seen it. I've not just seen it happen, I've actually had conversations with people, things like that has happened, and that's when that's when you don't, not about feeling embarrassed, but you're kind of broken, and it's hard to like distinguish all that. That's like the hardest thing, because for every victim out there that's been a victim, because I'm also a victim too, but for all victims out there, I wouldn't say it's going to be hard times or rough times, but you make the right decision for yourself, because R. Kelly did what he did, in the early 90s and whatnot, because Aaliyah was the known one. We don't know if there was many more that, happened over there. And if any of those more happened, if any of them wanted to seek justice, they can't anymore, and I wouldn't know if that's what's breaking them every single day and whatnot, but I would say this, and I'm gonna let PAT, continue before I jump back on, but don't feel and think that, because he goes to jail that, that's like, it's like that. It's like it's over, because I'll tell everyone like this, most child molesters, unless you kill your victim, like the max they might get is about between 10 to 12 years. And they can get off good behavior for 5, because when it's called a non-violent crime and whatnot, that's where basically the system works in its play and whatnot. That's the key thing right there. Him labeling as a sex offender, that's normal, but you know. But those are the things you have to see and play with when it comes to, you know, the law. So, but I'm gonna let you finish up, PAT.
All right. So, yeah, I'm a definitely wrap it up because I know you got to go next. Do your thing.
Nah, you good, man. You good. Take your time.
But we're definitely having a good, definitely a good dialogue, good discussion about this. I mean, you know, R. Kelly. I mean, it's it's a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about, and I'm sure this episode
that's 3 decades of music. So yeah.
Right, yeah, you know, okay, this could be much longer, but you know, of course, we don't want to get too crazy with it. But you know, just to kind of go back to my point about you know, the black man's face being the face of rape culture. Just to touch on that angle, you know, so the thing is, I look at things from different angles and perspectives, and one of the things is this is a case that reinforces negative stereotypes about Black people, and in this case, particularly Black men. Now, I just want to make it clear for the ones out there who are listening or who aren't listening, this isn't me saying that Black people who commit crimes shouldn't be punished for them. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is what one Black person does shouldn't be indicative of Black people as a whole. Because for some reason, when Black people commit crimes, the Black people who don't commit crimes are asked to answer for those who do. You know how I know this? Because when it comes to discussions about race, how many times have we heard the term Black on Black crime? How many times have we heard that come up? As soon as, for example, as soon as we hold racist cops accountable, someone deflects to Black on Black crime as if,
which is not even a real thing, by the way.
Right.
Go ahead.
And I agree, it's not a thing. You know, they deflect to Black on Black crime as if the Black person or Black persons represent Black people as a whole. When a white person commits a crime, or an Asian person commits a crime, or a Latino person commits a crime, we don't hear about white on white crime. We don't hear about Asian on Asian crime. We don't hear about Latino on Latino crime. See, those communities aren't asked to answer for the bad individuals in their race, even though most crimes are intraracial. In other words, people committing crimes against the people who look like them and within proximity to them. And so we have nonsensical terms like Black on Black crime out there. So this is yet another way for the mainstream media to program the minds of the masses to associate criminality with Black people. So in a nutshell, that's what this R. Kelly verdict means for the Black community. Now, whether people stop supporting or not, I couldn't care less, really. At the end of the day, people are going to do as they please. I know what's happening, and as always, I'm going to bring up different angles. I'm always going to bring up things from different angles and perspectives, because there might be different sides to the coin that people might not have seen or, you know, might not know about. But that's the only reason why I'm bringing that up. But as we all know, it's about the victims. You know, of course, we gotta protect Black women. We gotta protect Black girls. And I'm saying this because I know people heard me talk about Black men being portrayed a certain way in this, that, and the third. But I haven't lost sight of the fact that this is about the victims. And the victims in this case was Black girls, Black women. And as a community, Black men, we do need to protect Black women, Black girls. We need to do that. I know I'm going to catch some flack for that comment because, you know, there's always the folks out there who hear that, and it's always some bullshit about somebody being a simp or whatever they're saying out there.
There's
Anytime a black man speaks in the interest of black women, for some reason, a black man always just there's always something, So, and I
I'm
don't
sorry
give
to
a
cut
fuck.
you off. I'm
No,
sorry to cut you off.
yeah, I got you.
No, you good. See, this is the reason why that I just keep to myself and not try to get into this whole BS thing and whatnot. Because it only seems that basically if you love like another race, especially a white woman, you can't be no simp if you love a white woman. But when it comes to a black woman, it seems like you gotta be. And I'm sitting over here like, yo, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And not to cut you off, but
no, you good.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And it's this fucking gender war out here going on in the black community. Basically, black men dissing black women dissing black men. It's all a bunch of bullshit. Straight up, it's a bunch of bullshit. But I think one of the biggest things is anytime a black man is stepping up and speaking in the interest of black women, he's ridiculed for that.
Correct.
Now, I'm not saying everybody ridicules that black man for it, because there are black men who are defending black women and protecting black women. But there are the black men out there who, I'm going to just say, have disdain or vitriol or whatever towards black women for whatever reason. And when they hear a black man speak in the interest of black women, it's something about them being a simp or like some other bullshit. And yeah, it's just crazy when you think about it. But I don't give a fuck. I'm going to speak in the interest of black women, because I do think we, and when I say we, I'm talking about black men, we do need to protect black women. Every other community, every other race protects their women. We need to be doing the same. It's just that simple.
You're going to hurt their heads with that one.
For real talk.
I'm not too sure about white men protecting white women.
They do in a way. I get
in a way, but I ain't trying to throw a bullet onto nobody tonight. Not just yet. But yeah, I'ma just slide back in my corner. That's what I'm just slide back.
I totally agree with your assessment. It is not as rampant in other communities as it is in ours to just completely show disdain for your own race of women. I think you're totally spot on that in other communities, those men generally have no problem going hard to show love towards or protect their women. But in the Black community, for some men, like you so rightfully mentioned, Pat, if you do so, you're a simp. Look at Russell Wilson. There's so many Black men who were up in arms and upset and pissed off because Russell Wilson loves his Black wife. Like, that shit is sad. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. He should leave his wife, but that's a whole nother story. But continue.
Don't you start, E-Man.
Well, with the Russell Wilson thing, I mean, I kind of see what some of these dudes say, but then I think they just go a little too far with it. Like even the whole simp term, it's overused, and it's just not even with that type of situation. Just I feel anytime you say just anything that could be in the interest of Black women, it just, for some reason, some dudes out there just see it as being a simp. Like it's fucking crazy when you think about it.
Because we know Russell can do better. Just saying. But I'm gonna let you continue.
No, I'm
gonna beat you up. Yes, we gotta let Pat wrap up. He's been trying to get his stuff.
No, I'm done. I'm pretty much. I've wrapped up. That's pretty much my thoughts on this R. Kelly verdict. As far as to get direct to the question, what does R. Kelly's guilty verdict mean for his legacy? His legacy is fucking ruined. I mean, that's what that means.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean for the Black community? I already spoke on the different angles and aspects of that. It's a multi-layered thing, but I agree with you, Nia Angel. Hopefully, this will be a moment where, as a community, as a diaspora, however we want to look at it, it's a moment for us to reflect and to move forward and progress as best as we can, and to deal with the R. Kellys, and I'm using an S, plural, because it's not just about R. Kelly, this celebrity. The fact of the matter is there are R. Kellys in the community, you know, in people's families or whatever. It's the uncle, it's, you know, it could be the grandfather, whoever, you know, the family friend. So we got to deal with the R. Kellys within the community. It can't just be about this one celebrity who has been punished. Which, I mean, that's fine, but we're going to have to start punishing the R. Kellys within the community, within our families. And I'm going to end it on that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your thoughts when you were able to get them out. This has definitely been an interesting subject. Mr. E-Man, we're going to throw it to you to wrap us up, good sir. What say you?
All right, thank you so much. But before I start, I just want to let everybody know you're not a simp if you want to rub on a black booty. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Just let everyone know. It's very firm. It's like a pillow. If you need to work on putting your hand in the left cheek and right, you can just see it as like your hands weighing down, like, you know, like a scale or whatnot, if you need to practice. But all I'm just saying is there's nothing wrong rubbing on a black woman's booty. That's all I'm saying and whatnot. So, you know,
if solicited, just have to clarify that. Don't just go around rubbing booties.
Okay? Yeah, just don't be going out there just rubbing.
Don't do that.
Definitely gonna be.
We don't need nobody going around saying, "E-Man from the Good, the Bad, and True said I could go around and rub random black booties." That is not what he said.
Yeah, she has to allow it. She has to allow it.
Has to allow it. You just can't be rubbing random booties. That's how you gonna end up like R. Kelly.
Rub a consensual black booty. How about that?
Right. It has to be consensual, folks. Consensual.
Because everybody be losing their minds and whatnot. See, that's the thing. I think that's the whole new age day. It's this whole thing about being loved and whatnot. And you don't feel loved, that's when people start losing their minds and whatnot. So, all right. So we got that out the way. Now, man, that was a good laugh. But so man, Robert Kelly, damn. I don't know what to say. But I'll tell everybody this, right? You know, if we had to look at some of the songs that R. Kelly made and whatnot, you know, we're going to take it down to some of the songs that led to many clues and whatnot, you know, when a woman's fed up, you know, in 98, you know, that it don't have nothing behind it, but, you know, but the main song, you know, that just didn't sound right to me, it seemed like You're Ready in 93 and whatnot. You know, that whole 12 play album, I just knew something was fishy about that album, you know, because you got Bump and Grind, you know, Your Body's Calling and whatnot, you know, like there was just many.
He got lyrics where he's like, my mind's telling me no. But my body's telling me yes. And when you think about it now, I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. When you think about what we know now, that shit is sickening. I don't even know how people would want to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird to me that people would want to listen to it after we know what we know now.
Mm-hmm. And you know, and that's what I'm saying, you know, like, and it was one interesting thing, you know, Damian Hall, who was part of Guy and whatnot, his brother Aaron Hall, which is his younger brother. I hope I got it right, you know, but supposedly, you know, Aaron dropped, you know, an album in 92. He dropped an album, I think his first single in 92 and whatnot. And at the time, Aaron Hall had a fade, and I think he went bald, like he just shaved it off and whatnot. Then supposedly Mr. Robert Kelly did the same thing when he came out in 93. So everyone felt that basically, Robert Kelly was still in Aaron Hall's, his persona, the way he was singing, which, I'm starting to see, I kind of agree because, Aaron Hall, really good singer, and I wouldn't say he didn't last long in mainstream, but he didn't last as long in mainstream in the early 90s. And he probably went, pretty independent and whatnot. But this is why, I'm starting to like really dislike more of R. Kelly, because I'm starting to find the small little truths now as an adult, rather, when you're a kid, because everything looks so innocent, just like we just talked about, us not knowing because we were all kids when that happened and whatnot, you see? And that's the thing about getting away with certain things, and that's how many people get away with a lot of things, because it's so hard, when you have children around, it's the whole innocent thing that many people are not paying attention. But then when something happens, you tell people it's good and it's great. That's what it seemed, the whole comfortable thing that's really been going on, because, there's more and more stories that I find out every day about, not just stuff that R. Kelly does towards, those little girls, but this is a common thing that goes on every single day. Nobody cares and whatnot. And what I mean by people don't care, people just don't care and whatnot. There's only a selective few and whatnot. And many of the selective few that do care because they were victims behind the whole thing. I was a victim, all right? A 10-year victim, whatnot, And for a lot of victims, a lot definitely want to seek justice. But when I've been reading about most of the laws and whatnot, for, many of them who do what they do, it's actually a small slap on the wrist and whatnot, Others might get, the sex offender, where it kind of tampers towards, what they can and can't do towards an occupation and whatnot. But based upon certain states, you can work around all that stuff and whatnot. So towards R. Kelly, to like the whole Black community, I care less. Towards him and whatever he got left, I can care less. Because he made some really good songs. Not gonna lie. And whatnot. I can take you down the list, you got, I'm a Flirt. You got basically I'm the Greatest, which was a soundtrack from the Ali movie, Step in the Name of Love.
More than a flirt.
He's definitely more than a flirt. The whole song says it itself and everything like that. You know what? And it's so catchy, the first bar he says, Now swear to the whole, now swear to tell the truth and the whole truth. When it comes to hoes, I be pimping like I'm supposed to, rolling like I'm supposed to, shining like I'm supposed to, in the club, fucking with honeys like I'm supposed to. I don't understand when a nigga brings his girlfriend to the club, freaking all on the floor with his girlfriend in the club, and wonder why all these players are trying to holler at and whatnot.
With his sick ass, it was more like the clubhouse. It was underage girls.
That's what I'm saying. So when you start looking into some of the music and whatnot, it made me start questioning, because like a lot of people don't know, like, many R&B songs and whatnot might not talk about what you think some of them are talking. Some of them are, but some of them ain't and whatnot, So, and, And when you put a beat behind something with, some frequency, it just amplifies to your energy, and you vibrate the things based upon if it's good or not. But then when you start looking into the lyrics and reading stuff, like Ignition, that song was a very catchy song. But when I listened to the chorus itself from it, I'm like, I don't know. Because to me, it sounds like you're trying to drug a girl and whatnot. That's what it sounds like to me and whatnot. But they make it seem like this shit is cool and whatnot. Yeah. But this is what they're selling towards is music, Because I've had, a lot of people talk about, this rape and drug culture they keep pushing. I'm like, they're doing it worse now and whatnot, Yeah. And then and this is the thing. Then they basically say, well, R. Kelly did it. This person did it. This person did it. Why can I not do it? Like I said before, when you condone bad behavior, you make it seem like the behavior's okay to do and whatnot, And that's many of rappers now answers to all this and whatnot, That's their full answer to it, because they did it, so we can do it. I was like, but that doesn't make it right. So try to change that. But no, but they know you're going to make money off of it, because not just the dollar sells, they're slaving for that dollar, or they're slaving for more of the fame. Because be honest, you're not really making much as an artist unless you are doing a ton of shows, to really be honest. Because when it comes to an album and whatnot, that's more like collateral work, basically, and whatnot. That's basic collateral and whatnot, So, but that's just that part. But even the whole trap in the closet thing, that itself was like a little weird. And I was watching it because I got a little curious about like what was going on in it. Then that whole scene with the whole midget thing, then I was like, It was funny, but I was like, there's more behind it. Because everything I kept watching, I was like, there's more and more behind this whole R. Kelly thing, But then it was very interesting because, I think 2018 or 2020, I think someone broke into his house, and then, he was over there like, trying to like talk and like try to, be like, I didn't lose much. And like, I'm just thankful for everything that's going on in my life and all that stuff. I was like, why would someone want to rob R. Kelly, and, there's not much value that he might not have in his house. Because to me, I'm like, the average person, even those who make money, you might have a vehicle that you can steal, but like not too many people have things of value in their house because everything depreciates when you buy it. So there's not much value in certain things. And I doubt that he probably kept money on hand, but I don't think he kept like millions and millions of dollars in his home. So, because he said they didn't really steal much. They just damaged his home. But this is, like it's just crazy. Like, it's just, I can't even say the word silly, but nothing will change unless we start adding change to it. Because a man went out damn near 20 some odd years and people helped him do this, So, excuse me. So that means they were allowing this behavior to go on. And I don't know if people are being paid. I don't know people about payroll, but I've learned and read and researched that, more people are willing to do or condone more bad behavior if there's a high dollar price added to it and whatnot. And I'm not talking about a few like thousand. I'm talking about like payroll. You know, they're making six figures payroll, you know, where you don't have to do much. That I get to travel all the time. Like, you know, I get to live this like this imaginary like lifestyle. You know, that itself, you know, can push people off the edge. You know, to throw away like their morals, their ethics and value and whatnot. Because now I'm looking at everything. R. Kelly had no moral ethics and value, and he did things that were not just disgusting and degrading, but unhealthy. You know, like nobody tried to help him so he can seek help and whatnot. Nobody. You just enable more bad behavior, and that's the shit that keeps going on every single day. Like nobody wants to help nobody so they can heal from the trauma that's going on in their life. But when someone throws me good bankrolls and whatnot, I'm going to just continue to look the other way when this bad behavior happens. But you don't know and don't understand the difference between the parties that you're hurting versus as, you know, me just getting something to make sure I'm good for the day and whatnot. And that is the thing why most people don't care, because it's not happening in their own space. But I can tell everyone it's happening more in your own space than anything itself and whatnot, you know? Because I'll tell everyone like this, right? There's so much going on with human trafficking and whatnot, so much to the point that y'all don't even know how it even starts, you know? There's human trafficking that people make money off this, and the Arabs still do it because it's still part of the slave trade. But no one has stopped them. Because you know why? Because the simple fact is they bought out everybody, and everyone's buying into this and whatnot. That's why many times when this shit does happen, people are going to say, "Oh no, that's not true," and it seems like this is what's been going on for a very long time, you know, because now R. Kelly's now just the face of being a rapist, you know, and now they're going to think that many black men are rapists, but white men are rapists, Asian men, you know, and the list goes on.
May I ask a quick question in that regard? So how should his case have been handled to prevent the exploitation of Black men as rapists? So in other words, the argument is that R. Kelly is now going to be the face of rapist, especially because he's a high profile Black man who's been found convicted of it. So how should it have been handled, or what is the recommendation on how it could have been handled to avoid that? Charge him, but not publicize the charges?
Basically. Yeah, I would say that's
against the law. There's literally a constitutional right of the public to have access to any kind of crime and atrocity committed by someone. Like legally, the state has to make that available unless it's deemed a threat to national security. There's a law against that.
Well, it could be publicized, but like for example, maybe like there isn't mainstream media coverage of it. For example, I'm just using that as an example. Like there's not this heavy mainstream.
But you get mainstream media coverage if a Kardashian gets a nose job. How are you going to prevent the mainstream media from a story as sensational as this one?
So I'm gonna answer your quick question. Towards is like, you know, it is against the law towards, you know, publicizing it, but everything is
towards not publicizing.
I mean, not towards not publicizing, but it is basically public records. So basically it means you can go online You can go to pacer.gov and you can pick up any court case that doesn't have a what's that term they use? A security clearance behind it and whatnot. So that basically just means that there's a level of clearance that has to be met. So that means that it's not meant for the public eye, but yet many people don't know that security clearances are illegal, by the way. I'm gonna go through that whole thing in a whole nother episode.
But I'm just to make sure I understand, because I'm really honestly trying to understand if there was an alternative. So there was. Harvey Weinstein and some of the other men who have been brought to the forefront of sex trafficking, right? That one that they claim killed himself in jail, where we know that's not true. What was his name? The one that
Epstein.
Yeah, Epstein. So all of those stories were high level media stories. So I guess I'm just trying to understand what should have been done. So basically, is the argument that there should have been a consideration not to highly publicize R. Kelly's story because the end result could be an bias towards Black men being rapists in general?
That too, plus the media has no government entity. So the news is not a government entity at all. It's really not.
No. I know, but I'm not making that argument. I'm asking how should it have been handled based on that argument in order to prevent an association to all Black men being rapists. Because I understand, let me be clear, I understand the thought process behind it. I just think in the case of R. Kelly, first of all, I think it just recently came out that he was found guilty. So I don't know that it works that fast that now all, there's this stigma that all Black men are the face of rape. But also, I'm just honestly, all jokes aside, trying to understand what the alternative would have been.
He's been in court, I think, almost his last year of 2019-ish. Because I think they broke into his house like 2018. And then they got him on something around 2019. Because I think that's when the first story came out. And then, it's been like that since. So because many people don't hear so much that goes in court, you just hear the verdict because that's what the news is willing to put out. But court cases like that goes on for at least about a year or 2 years max and whatnot, because they have to get a jury. They have to get everything towards the witness and whatnot. The reason why many of the stuff is not publicized towards the witnesses and whatnot, because basically by law, they're basically keeping themselves away from the public eye, and they're telling the news basically do not put my name in the paper and whatnot.
Yes, I understand. But what is the answer to my question about what should have been done differently to prevent R. Kelly being becoming the face of Black rape? That's what I'm trying to
basically
ask.
Just don't publicize it. It shouldn't have been publicized. The news had no right to do that and whatnot. They chose to do the story. So
if I could just answer real quick, because now that's a good question. That's a good question. And to be honest with you, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but at the same time, I do it for a reason. There's a methodology to why I do it, as I explained before. But it's the system that we live in. The thing is, I don't even think there is another alternative outside of maybe they shouldn't have publicized it. That would really be the only alternative. But realistically, we know that's not going to happen because the fact is R. Kelly is a celebrity. So it's going to be publicized. So it's just one of those things where damn.
The news do it.
Yeah, that's my point.
It's newsworthy.
It's going to be publicized because he's R. Kelly.
Right. But then going back to what I was saying as far as the system we live in. So this system is built to demonize Black people. So it doesn't even have to be R. Kelly, because I don't want to make it, oh, it's R. Kelly, you know, like it could be R. Kelly, it could be Cosby, it could be whoever, whichever high profile Black man.
But I think Cosby's case is literally, so first of all, let me be clear. I agree with you on Cosby, because I think Cosby's case is different. Cosby's case is, in my opinion, there literally is no evidence because it happened so long ago, other than the accounts of these women, which some have recounted.
Right.
But R. Kelly, there are actual documents. There's falsified documents for him marrying Aaliyah at 15 when he was 27. There's a difference between Cosby and Kelly.
Right. I was just saying their names because they're both high profile Black celebrities. That was the only reason I wasn't trying to say one case was the same as the other, or I know that there's differences, but I'm just saying that we're talking high profile Black men are just in the news. They're in the media. They're at the forefront, and basically, as I've been saying before, they're a proxy. Basically, they're just a proxy for Black men, because the media is a powerful tool. It's very powerful.
Definitely,
and
it's a mobile tool,
right? And it projects to the masses, basically to the masses at large. So the fact is, Black people already have a negative stigma. We already know this. Everybody knows this. So when we keep seeing a high profile Black man attached to a crime, when we continuously see that, all it does is just reinforce that stereotype. Because I know we can talk about the Harvey Weinsteins and the Jeffrey Epsteins and all that, but the thing is, we live in a white society. We live in a majority white society anyway. I know
white control society.
White control, yeah, that's the proper way to say it. We live in a white control society. So the Jeffrey Epsteins, the Harvey Weinsteins, they're seen as individuals. They don't reflect on white people as a whole. When these white guys do whatever they do and they get in trouble, yeah, it's high profile and we hear about it, but guess what? It doesn't reflect on white people as a community. It doesn't reflect on
the same. It's
the same. I definitely understand.
It's the same
point, and
shit.
I think that's a fair point.
It's the same shit that when Ben Roethlisberger whipped out his penis in a Pittsburgh bar and whatnot, and you really didn't get too much flack for that.
And there was other stuff he did too.
He did a whole lot of stuff. A whole lot.
I to this day can't stand Ben Roethlisberger because it's so. So let me be clear. First of all, I'm not saying that I don't agree with the assessment that Black people are often held accountable for the actions of one. Let me be clear. I totally agree with that. I'm just trying to understand what's the alternative in some of these situations to prevent it where you have high profile individuals involved. Because I want to make clear, I definitely agree. Ben Roethlisberger got a slap on the wrist, and he too was found to have allegedly had inappropriate behavior with underage girls. So I'm not saying that it is not the case that, for the Black community, it's not more, how do I put this, emphasized. Definitely agree. But my question was legitimate in trying to understand what's the alternative then, because we cannot not hold these people accountable. And I don't think it's enough. Yeah, I was just trying to understand that part.
Yeah, and I just want to make it clear also, like, just because these people are Black, whether it's a R. Kelly or whoever, if it's a Black person they commit a crime, they need to be held accountable. It's one thing to be pro-Black, but the fact is that if a Black person does commit a crime, they need to be held accountable. So I'm definitely all for it. And the R. Kelly needs to be held accountable, which, I mean, he has been. But, it's just about the publicizing. And really, again, to answer your question, I think it's more, it boils down to it shouldn't be publicized. However, realistically, we know that that's not going to happen. And
Right.
I would say ideally, I mean, it shouldn't even it shouldn't have got this far. Like it shouldn't have gotten to a point where R. Kelly even is this far down the line going to trial. Like
Totally agree with
whenever
you.
there's pedophilia or just any crimes within the Black community, and I don't want to say too much on here because this is gonna be on the internet and everything, and I'm gonna just keep it vague. But basically, whenever crimes happen within the Black community, Black people need to deal with that. And I'm gonna put it like that. We just need to deal with it right then and there. That way it can't happen again. And it can't get to the point where it's highly publicized.
Wholeheartedly agree.
That's the ideal thing. I would say that's the ideal thing. But
that's so ideal. And I'm gonna say I agree with you. But the one thing that pisses me off the most is how so many people are into this thing to the point where this shit ain't gonna never stop, and that's what bothers me a lot because
what are you talking about in particular? Like the rape, sexual assault, like
rapes, sexual assault, the pedophilia,
pedophilia,
because they make money off of it. They really do. Because here comes the thing, right? Even though R. Kelly's publicized, so anybody who does it, they'll still hit the paper and whatnot. Because, I read plenty of stories on certain people who've done this and whatnot. Not just, the children and everything, but, their stories go out and whatnot. Many people don't do or they don't really say much because simple fact, you don't know that person and whatnot, So you have someone like R. Kelly, that we grew up listening to his music. So when you invest so much time in another person's energy, someone like R. Kelly that you haven't met, but you listen to his music, you invested some type of energy, so his name. So that's the reason why, like, we get not just enraged, but we're upset, we're pissed and whatnot about these situations, what he did and whatnot. But we also got to hold that to the same people that's among us in society also too, because R. Kelly is part of society, but he's not among us within the society, if that makes sense and whatnot. It's,
No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. He's the celebrity. That's a different.
And that's the thing that I try to get everyone, because I don't like to use the term celebrity because, but they live in a whole different realm than us and whatnot. They're part of something that's created for the higher elites or higher ups. So their realm is different and whatnot, because in their minds, like in many of their minds, not all of them, but many of their minds, they feel like we're so peasant because basically, we're not as the level of what they are, and that's what gets kind of confusing, for certain people and whatnot who really buys into it, which I don't. But this is the reason why that, that whatever happens to R. Kelly, towards him, being guilty, I've already said it earlier before. He's only probably going to get about 10 to 12 years, and probably get 5 or 6 off for good behavior and whatnot, because that's how celebrities, that's how they get down, and I don't think it's never going to change because they're not meeting to the same statutory of someone like me if I would do it and whatnot, because for me, if I would do it and whatnot, they would throw the book at me, people will curse me out, people will be like, oh no, you don't deserve that anymore. You're gone and whatnot, but someone like R. Kelly, well, he made good music for me, there's some sentiment in like how you guys were talking about, when you have that type of sentiment on something, on someone, it's hard for them, to like, be that nasty to them and whatnot, because they invested time in somebody that they don't know, but they invested time in something he did with required energy. So it brought them to something good, because it's going to be hard for many people to be like, well, I don't want to listen to an album of a rapist and whatnot. Same thing with, Chris Brown, I don't want to, deal with a man who hits women and whatnot. But look how many people accepted Chris Brown after the simple fact he slapped up Rihanna and whatnot, And I feel like it's going to be the same thing for R. Kelly and whatnot. Because I feel like celebrities get a pass no matter what, because they're in that realm of that circle and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So that I'm going to just definitely end on there. But that's what's never going to change, because if the regular person can get criticized, I wouldn't say they publicize it, but they do, for certain people, they do write an article and whatnot, and you might not know that person, but that article does go out, but it's not as heavy hitting as someone as R. Kelly, that you can just boom, 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 plaster on every news channel and have its story running for weeks and weeks and whatnot, so it can be in your head and whatnot. So that's a type of programming. Versus as someone like me, I did it. My story's out there. Some people might be mad, others be like, man, I don't know that nigga, bye and whatnot. But and my time might be different from his time and whatnot. You see, so it's just never going to change. But, I'm not going to say I'm lost words with R. Kelly, but R. Kelly's going to get that celebrity treatment there. So, but I'm going to just end my thoughts on that. So, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Well, thank you for your thoughts, sir. Fellas, this was definitely a great and I'm going to say lively, to say the least, session. To all our supporters, our listeners, thank you for your continued support, your continued love. Please, please, please log on to Facebook, share these sessions. Make sure you go on YouTube, hit that subscribe, hit that like button, share that content. That's how you keep that content flowing, keep that content going. You're going to get the notices when we release the new sessions, the new episodes. So definitely let's stay on top of that. And before we say peace out, I'm going to throw it to my guy, Mr. PAT, and then follow up with the dude, Mr. E-Man, to drop some important contact information on y'all. Mr. PAT, give him that info, sir.
Yeah, thepatchannel.com. That's it. Thepatchannel.com. All my social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all are on thepatchannel.com. Go on there, like, follow, subscribe, just like you would do with this podcast. Do all that with my content as well. And just to end it off real quick, I do offer creative services such as graphic design, illustration, and web design, and content writing as well. So again, thepatchannel.com, you can just go there. Everything is available to you. That's that.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir. E-Man, what you got for him, fella?
You can check out my IG. It's Woo Athletics, WOO Athletics with an S, 56. You can shoot me an email. You can DM me for any personal training, sports training also too. You can also contact me also for nutritional consulting and also alkaline cooking and whatnot. And I'm also working on a very clean alkaline herb smoke blend that hopefully it should be coming out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So definitely, it will be on my IG for sale, and I will let you know towards its pricing. And also that my personal training studio is on a slight delay, so it should be hopefully opening up by the end of November. But I also still do personal training, just via contact me by email or DM, and I can help you on your goals.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, fellas, for dropping that information to all our listeners out there. Thank you for tuning in with us. Again, here at The Good, The Bad, and The Truth, we're always going to keep it raw and real. We appreciate you. And until next time, peace.
Peace out.
Peace.
Love and happiness.
Yes, yes.